Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, people? Let's go. It's a special live with New York Revival Friday podcast. And we got our boy TK, Mr. Tommy K. What's up, buddy? You're joining us.
How's everybody doing today?
He is a real person. He's not just some weirdo that wears a t-shirt, cloth, poncho. What is that thing anyway?
It's actually a blanket my father got from the VFW from his friend, and I cut a hole in the top of it and wore it as a Giants poncho.
Beautiful.
Makes
beautiful
perfect sense.
Yeah.
The wig that he wears as Carlos is from a Ray Finkel Halloween costume.
I know.
Well, listen, I think a lot of people here are shocked to hear that that's a wig. We thought that was just part of his getup, but
yeah, it's
This
bad
is-
here. It's just normal.
He's just a
average,
normal
just
Giants
play.
fan underneath
hey.
it all.
I feel you. Hey, cheers to you guys. Welcome to a little Friday fun. It's a fun little Friday podcast that we're doing just to
Yes,
get our
sir.
faces out there, just to talk to you folks out there, get your feel for some of the news that we heard this week that we missed on our last podcast. So, I mean, Jeff, what do you got going on today? What's your day look like?
Well, I wrapped up, my work. I really pretended to be invested in work today so that I could be here with you, and I'm ready to shut down the engines for the weekend. So when you said let's do a little live show, it's a F yeah, dude. Like
Have a couple drinks.
you're gonna force me to have a beer at 12:30 on a Friday. I'm gonna say yes, and here we are. We got some Giants news to run through, and then there's some potential Giants moves coming up too. I want to say, Spiro, you called this. A lot of people think Schefter had it. It was actually Spiro who had it. Sterling Shepard taking a pay cut. Right?
Well, listen. I mean, it just made sense. Like I said, from day one, Shep. Nobody's paying Shep big money. It always made sense for him to stay here. He's already been rehabbing with us to begin with. So,
his whole career he's been rehabbing.
Well, yeah, true. Facts. It's true. So, who better to rehab the guy than the team that's done it, 15 times already. So.
Back again into
If
Sterling.
there's
Yeah,
one thing,
I
like
mean,
you said,
listen.
he is good at rehabbing. So
Yes, he is. He's a lead at it.
That's his job right now. Let's pay him to do it.
Exactly. So, listen, the numbers are a little. Everybody's crying a little bit about the numbers. They don't want any dead money, and they saw what his number could be if he reaches certain extent incentives, and everybody got all freaked out because he's like, "Oh, we didn't save as much money as we thought." People, their incentives.
Yeah.
If he hits them, that means he's done a very good job and he's played all year.
It's a good problem.
Yeah, right. Like that's good for the Giants. So let's calm down.
I'm totally guilty of that.
Yeah, right.
Not knowing where the money's supposed to go, when it's
Right.
going, what is
You
it?
see the number. Right. Yeah.
I'm not a couch manager, so
I'm big
I'll
time
leave that up
capologist.
to you. Watch
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and you can tell me everything.
We call them. There's a lot of Twitter GMs out there.
Right.
I'm not one.
Listen, I think again, it made sense for both sides. Like Jeff has said before, Daniel Jones loves this guy. He knows how to throw to him, regardless of what offense it is. So I don't know.
Well,
I think it always made sense.
I was thinking, like, over the course of the season, right? Shep's not going to be 100% to start the season. Hopefully, Galladay and Tony are. We still don't know if it's going to be Slayton on the other outside. Like, I'm hoping there's an upgrade to come there. Maybe we grab McKenzie or one of these Buffalo wide receivers that they know how to use. But down the line, Kenny or Tony are going to get dinged up. Shepard is going to be coming along that whole time. Daniel Jones loves Sterling Shepard. That was his safety blanket in the middle of the field. So you're going to want him in that wide receiver room. He's going to be a nice add. We're going to actually need him at some point. So I think if you're going to have to lose money on him, if he didn't play, you may as well spend the same exact amount of money and have the wide receiver that has rapport. He's the longest tenured Giant. Plenty of reasons to keep the guy for this year.
And he's all heart. The guy is all heart all the time.
That's
Every
true.
time he does get hurt, he's working to get back. And, I'm not there watching him do that, but it feels like he is, because when he comes back, he usually looks better than he did when he left the field.
And you see him jacked up on the sidelines, right? All the time.
Yeah.
He's like boxing people on the Browns.
he gets the team involved with that type of atmosphere and that type of energy. So
Right.
I think it's worth the money to bring him back.
Very underrated point there, TK. Like he's a clubhouse leader, and that when you're bringing in a new culture, and again, I hate using the culture thing again because we always talked about culture with Judge and all that. But like, what better guy than Shep to like lead the
100%.
herd, and be that lead that example.
Be that shepherd.
Oh,
Wow.
See,
Wow.
this is
How
why.
did you just walk right?
I know.
past him? Good Lord.
I set that up on a silver platter for you. I was hoping that you would take that and slam it
Spiked.
home, maybe. How you did. But yeah, listen. I don't know what you guys. I clearly we're on the same page here. A lot of people are freaking out about the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers yet. The Giants are probably. I think Jordan Rodden said saving somewhere up to $6 million but with this move. It's going to be less if he gets all his incentives, which at the same time is good for the Giants. So let's calm down about the numbers.
Yeah.
What's
Calm
good
down
for
with
the
the
game?
numbers.
Joe Shane looks like he knows a lot more about that than we do.
Seriously,
So let's just let it go,
He might know a little more than we do.
People.
And yeah, so I mean the Shep stuff. I don't know, Jeff. You got anything more on him? Like, what
Well,
else?
we like going into this season, we're really big on him. Me and Eli came out and said this is his first 1,000-yard season. He's finally going to do it.
And he looked like he was getting there.
He never looks better. Even the first couple games, he was actually on pace, like easily.
Oh,
he was being the receiver he looked like that he looked like in camp. So like we're so happy to see him. It was extra heartbreaking to see him go down this year because he never looked better. Never worked better. Sergeant Mayhem, the winner of our contest, chiming in with a Carlos.
What's happening? And Sergeant Mayhem, wasn't he the one that was wondering where I got my poncho?
I think you did comment in one of the. A lot of people have actually asked what that is, where they can get one, and I don't know.
If you guys want, I have a fresh poncho, uncut. You can cut the whole work. Like, essentially, it's just a blanket. I'm willing to hand it over to you guys to give out on your show.
Wow.
Look at
That's
this.
a highly coveted prize right there. And just for the record, Tom is actually a lot bigger than me. I'm just on a higher chair.
if you couldn't tell,
He's on a little bit of a pedestal right now.
if you couldn't tell by the head circumference, I am larger.
Hey, us big head people gotta stay together. Listen, guys, I'm just glad to be hanging out with you guys. I don't care what else happens right now. Like this is Friday. It's nice as hell out here in Jersey. For the first time in a long time, we got that spring fever going. I got my Corona. We're talking Giants. And let's talk about one more guy here because we talked about Shep. That was the easy restructure. Another easy move here was getting Riley Dixon's ass out of here, bro.
Hell out of here, bro.
His ass out. Like Jeremy Piven in Entourage. Get the fuck out of here.
While he's holding his BlackBerry or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, that was the obvious move, right, Jeff? Like it just seemed too easy, that one.
Had to be done. He was like an extra like punch in the face from the Joe Judge era, who was such a special teams guy, and you overpaid a punter who the last 2 years was bad. Like especially this past season, he was no weapon. He was no asset whatsoever. He was another just exclamation point on a miserable season. And I was surprised to see our man Lawrence Tynes tweet out that like he is a good punter. He's going to get more work. Like I didn't see it this year.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't.
No,
but there's not that many punters, so like he'll get another shot.
Right? How many? Yeah, like Fiegels, I think played for 20 different teams over his career. Isn't that amazing that he was good enough to go to every team in the NFL, but not good enough to keep?
I honestly felt like you or I or Spiro yourself could have punted better than Riley Dixon.
Tell him how good I was punting over the weekend. I was
was this pre or post snapping of
this was pre snapping of everything. But I had some serious hang time. They were not like.
No, they were more than anything. They were bread baskets. Like
they were catchable.
I didn't have to go anywhere. He was just dropping them on me. It was nice.
I didn't really know I had this talent, or else. Listen, I'm gonna.
What kind
of out there? Learn how to punt because you'll have a job forever in the NFL. Like we're just talking about Fiegels. It's not like a field goal kicker where the game's on a line here. Just go out, punt the ball. Don't be Matt Dodge. You can't be Matt Dodge bad. No. But as long as you're serviceable as a punter, you'll always have a job for about 25 years. So
and it's a pretty good gig. I mean, I'd rather be a field goal kicker because you had some chance at glory that way.
That's fair.
No one's ever happy to see the punter, right?
No, you're right.
Unless you're like you could be Justin Tucker for the Ravens and just be a stud. Like he is.
What about Pat McAfee, bro? Look what
Right.
Pat
Well,
McAfee did.
So he managed to turn being a punter into something pretty cool. Give him credit for that.
His post career is much better than his career.
Lord
He's
Puff-a-Lot. Looks
freaking-
like your fellow stoner friends are joining us now.
Lord Puff-a-Lot 420. I love it, baby.
Tell
I
us how
love
you
it.
really feel, Lord
Hey.
Puff-a-Lot.
Good Lord.
I feel you,
Puff a
brother.
lot.
Yeah, no. So Dixon made all the sense in the world. He had a Matt Dodgers kind of season last year. Like he was, again, like you said, the epitome of everything that was wrong with Judge. He was a leftover. It was an easy 2.8 mil. I think they're saving now.
No brainer. I'm surprised it wasn't done sooner.
Yeah, exactly. But again, draft a punter for 800 under a mil, dude. Like in the 5th or 6th round, or sign some guy off a practice squad. Figure it out. Like you could.
I'll do it for 100K flat.
There you go. Look, we don't even have to go outside the house right here. We have an in-house punter ready to go. I mean, this is why TK's a logistics guy. He's always ready to do whatever is needed.
He'll do the dirty work. He will. He'll get his hands dirty. Definitely. Who was our punter? He was during like the Odell era, and he was actually played at LSU with Odell. I'm blanking on his name, but he's like, I think he was Australian.
Yes.
Yes. What the hell is it?
But I liked him.
Come on.
I felt like they kind of ditched him a little too soon. He had like one bad punt, and they moved on. But Dixon, they keep all year.
Oh my God,
Weatherford, was it?
No, it was after. We love Weatherford, but
we're all
it was after
drawing
him.
a blank. We're like a bunch of idiots right now.
It was after Weatherford, who was a jacked monster.
Brad Wing.
Brad Wing.
Yes.
There you go.
That's
Holy
it.
moly.
Dude,
he had the braces and everything going.
They did a special on him, and he was in practice showing all the different kinds of punts he can do. And
dude, wow.
I thought we could punt the ball. This guy he could like draw it up exactly what he wanted to do.
Yes.
Like, I want somebody cool like that.
Here's the thing. I think he was, that friend that you accidentally discard because he's associated with somebody that you don't really like. I feel like he got discarded because he was part of Odell's crew. And that was like, just a casualty of war, we call it,
Yeah.
We love Brad Wing, right? Brad Wing was good. He was decent for a while for us. Just got caught up in the 3 GMs we've had, over the past couple of years. And this is why you hate to have this many GM coaches and coaching changes in this short time span. There's guys that get caught up in getting released just because the new regime is coming in. And we need to stop this shit. So,
well, it's really unfair to everyone on the Giants, like, because a lot of them, it's not their fault. A lot of them are just not good enough. But like, I'm one that I always hold Daniel Jones to the fire. I'm like, be better, right? But in reality, you look at what like Josh Allen has had the same head coach, offensive coordinator, QB coach his entire career up until this year. So he had like that ultimate stability. So like, no wonder he was able to get better every year. Daniel Jones.
Yeah, John Mara said it best. We've done everything we can to absolutely fuck this guy.
I like that.
Are we allowed to do that here?
I like. Oh yeah. I like that quote.
Fly, baby.
That showed some actual like self-reflection by Mara. He definitely got tipped by somebody to be more likable or start making better decisions.
He's got a Twitter guy that scans it and just gives him bullet points to get better on, I think.
Remember, he dropped the Pepsi line too to the media members.
He's definitely listening.
He's listening.
Definitely listening
to us, to you, Spiro.
Listen, I said it from the beginning. Mara just needs to have one good offseason to get people off his back. And what does he do? He hires everybody that we wanted. He's cracking jokes. He's making fun of himself, reflecting. He's making fun of himself. And now, the Mara's the worst owner in sports talk has really kind of just gone silent.
Well, he did what needed to be done.
Exactly.
And he was holding on to Joe Judge at the end of the season. Think about that. He was actually trying to hold on to him. Like, that's frightening to me. Truly frightening.
It is. Sometimes you got to hold somebody's feet by the fire to make a good decision, and his feet were held to the fire by this fan base, us, namely just us, and it forced change, thankfully. And sometimes you need that kind of to happen to shake shit up, and he's shaking shit up, man. So
he even allowed the head coach to poke fun at him in the first team.
I know. He did.
With the ready break thing.
What have you done with John Mara? Leave him wherever you left him. But like, what'd you do with him? And who are you?
They're changing.
I like him. I like the new Mara. Let's keep all the garbage cans upright and keep this team rolling forward.
And maybe loosen up on the player committee that he's on, where we're doing the taunting thing. Loosen up on that rule, and then you'll be 100%, in our good graces again, because he's the one leading that fucking bullshit charge.
How about just back out of it?
Yeah, come on, like
let some other people handle some things.
Exactly.
You don't have your name on everything.
Get the old dogs out of the way.
It's time.
Exactly.
It's time.
But yeah, so listen, all right. So we got those two guys out of the way. Oh, sorry, we didn't talk about Rudolph. Did we talk about Rudolph and Booker on our last episode?
We didn't dive in too much, but what'd you say?
The Red Zone Strange Year.
Strange Year.
Yeah. Again, I'll maintain that we did not use him correctly. And Jeff, you've said that you hate this signing from Jump Street, which is perfectly fine. But again, two more obvious ones: Rudolph, Booker. They cleared about $5 million worth of space with them too. That whole tight end room is getting reset, and it needed to, because they just weren't using them right way. Rudolph is done.
I tried to be optimistic about the signing in the beginning, because it's like, okay, here's that actual proven tight end. But the one thing that really rubbed me the wrong way is they paid him a lot, $12 million over 2 years, and then he needed that surgery, and they didn't. It was before he signed, so they could have been like, okay, let's be realistic, let's make it more incentive based, or draw it back a little bit, because you're paying him way too much to be over 31 with a ton of miles, ton of hits. True. I mean, he did score a lot of touchdowns. That's what we all got fooled by, but he was not. He was in slow motion.
Yeah,
the dude. Every time he caught the ball, it's like, is that your fucking fastest gear? Like you're a professional athlete, dude. Like he was not moving.
Yeah, but you thought it in from day one.
You thought that that we'd use him like Garrett used Witten in Dallas, which Witten was never a burner at tight end, but he always made important catches. Made about 6 catches a game. They were all first downs or touchdowns. And that's what I thought we were getting out of Rudolph. And, I think he was caught up in the offense being such a shit show from day one. It was just, we didn't know how to use him. He was too slow. He was coming off the foot surgery. It was a combination of just dog shit, and we overpaid for it. So I'm glad that, move on from the bad contracts, move on from any scraps that we can, and on to the new era.
Let me ask you something, because obviously this is going to be a revamped tight end room. Ingram is all but certainly on his way out. He's going to get overpaid by somebody.
Yeah.
God willing.
How do you think they might? I could see them using a draft pick, but how early do you think they use a draft pick on a tight end?
Oh man, there's so many good tight ends in this draft, guys. Like edge and tight end are two of the spots like that. If I had to name the strongest groups depth wise, those are the two spots. There's no elite tight ends, but from the second round to about the 5th round, or even second to 5th, that's the sweet spot for these tight ends. I wouldn't go as far as using the second round pick on them. The Giants can't afford to. It's too high. It's basically a first round pick there, so you can't use it there. But starting that 3rd round, there's some not elite. There's some great talents that I would use a 3rd round pick on, but if we're being serious, I want 4th round is where I'd like to use that.
I think that's more of a sweet spot, because our 2nd round pick is the 36th overall.
Yes,
that is a stud.
I think something like that.
There should be a stud edge or O lineman there that you can still
at least the 1st round graded talent that we're picking up.
The day one starter. That's what you need.
100%. But this is the spot to draft a guy that you could sit behind one of these vet tight ends that I think are going to sign, because there's a lot of tight end in the free agent market too. So sign a guy for cheap for a year, let him sign a prove it deal, hopefully like an OJ Howard, where he's got to reclaim his talents, and he was injured in Tampa Bay, so reset, give him a nice little 1-year deal, let him prove it, and you are then also developing the guy behind him that we drafted in the 3rd or 4th round. And that's where you start your tight end room, and then sign another blocker, cheat guy like for veteran minimum, whatever.
That's another position that we've just been spoiled at. Like from Shockey to Ballard and Boss, it was like a position that you just didn't have to worry about, and now all of a sudden we can't freaking find one.
Nope.
it's like true. They don't exist. It's ridiculous.
It's true. It's wild. It's going to be a position of need. We're gonna have to hit that one hard, because I don't know if what's his name's coming back, Caden Smith. I'd like him to come back, but again, we never know what the hell the issue is with him because
Yeah, Giants fans like him. He seems to do well every time he gets a chance, but he doesn't get many chances for some reason.
And then
just
Booker,
just like everyone else, that's okay. Just like everyone else, I think they're all going to have to be coming back on those prove-it deals, like you were saying before. Anyone we're bringing in and we're not bringing in through the draft have to be on prove-it deals. We don't know what we are going to be in 2 years.
Facts.
We can't be hitching our wagon to anyone at this point.
It's going to be interesting how they put a roster out there this year with the cap situation. You need a ton of cheap prove-it deals, and we are going to be that one-stop shop for. Hey, you could go play with the Giants for a year, see if you can get your number back up.
Listen, is there a better group right now of young, talented coaches to be in an offense with? You know, with Kafka and Dable, the thought is the hope is that people want to come here because they're young, dynamic, talented guys that could cook up a nice little offensive system. Maybe get one good big year out of you, and you catch in on that and move on. So. Fingers crossed.
Let me ask you guys an impossible question.
Oh boy!
This time next year, skip 1 year. Is Daniel Jones still on the roster?
Yes.
DK, you want to go first? Yeah.
Yes, he's still on the roster. Whether he's the starter or not, can't tell you. Probably, possibly not. But again,
that's an impossible question.
It is an impossible question. But he will still be on the roster because someone will want him later. Someone will take another chance on him. Someone will think we fucked him up so much that he couldn't ever succeed, even with anyone they brought in here. And someone will say, I can fix it, because people are selfish and think that they're better than everyone. There are coaches out there that think they can just all of a sudden make a quarterback better, and they turn out to be shit quarterbacks no matter what. So do I think he'll be on the roster? Yes. I think we're going to have to keep him on the roster to utilize him as some type of bargaining chip when we get rid of him.
It's going to be interesting because then it's either fifth-year option at $22 million.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Or an extension. But I mean, if he's a starting quarterback, it's cheap. If he's a good quarterback, it's very cheap.
You're
relatively. Right. Not in our world.
Exactly.
Not in human beings' world. What do you think, Spee?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's going to be gone because I think this. Yeah, I think this coaching staff wants to get their own guy. You know, I think they really want to get their own guy in there. And who that guy is, in a perfect world, we've traded back this year in this year's draft and just loaded up on serious capital to go up and get one of these big guys in the in the draft in 2023. That's my dream. That's the hope. And that's what I love to see. So I think that the goal right now, and as always should be, finish like with around 6 to 8 wins, where you're not out of the top 20, and load up on capital hopefully this year, and go up and get that big guy. I don't think that the problem is I think Daniel Jones is going to be just good enough to where we're going to be a little bit too far out of contention to trade up for that number.
That's the thing. We're going to win 6 to 8 games.
That's rough.
I think at least,
rough, dude.
Yeah. But he's serviceable for this division. I mean, even with Wentz back in the division, he's still serviceable for this division.
That's the thing. Our division is duty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, though. Wentz back in the division.
Right. I mean, I like that he's back in the division. Are you kidding me? Why would, as a Giant fan, why wouldn't you? He doesn't give the Commanders any more of an opportunity.
I'm sorry. That is the worst fucking name.
Cracks me up every time.
He doesn't give them any more of an opportunity to win more games than Taylor Heineke did. And I really believe that. I could be wrong, and I'll probably be blasted on your social medias, but I'll never see it. So it's okay.
Not your problem.
Not my problem at all.
I won't see it.
So, I think he's serviceable for our division. So do I think he's going to be here? Yeah, just because
that's fair.
Again, cheap and serviceable, he is.
It's frustrating because he's big, he's strong.
Yeah,
he actually can throw the ball like really well, really well. Like his deep passes are really good, but he just is a fucking idiot sometimes, and he does some really stupid shit that drives me crazy. It's like every time he gets me on board, he does something that I feel like that you can't be doing that in your third year, bro. You just can't. The interception to the defensive lineman. I think I like fell down and just like did this for like. Because I just know that video was going to be surfacing for the rest of my life. Just like when he tripped on that 80-yard rush, in Philly.
Oh, everyone, give him a break on that.
I
Come
know.
on.
Well, we'll never.
What happened
we'll never
on
get the
your
end of
What
it.
happened on your 40s? Okay.
Hey.
Everyone, give him a break.
That's a
It's
fair
true.
point.
The guy had
It's true.
gigantic men chasing him to the end line. I don't think that you guys would have made it.
and he
either.
was
So,
chasing an orange cone.
yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
I know all about this life. And listen,
Pop, pop.
yes, he got shot by the sniper, the same sniper that got me. We're gonna get that motherfucker one of these days. But hey, listen, I think listen, Eli had these bad moments too, but he recovered with some amazing moments that made you
Yeah.
forget about the shit. So Daniel Jones hasn't had the amazing moments. That's the problem. And I think that's, again, Lamar Jackson has these moments. He's like, does this guy play quarterback in the NFL? How? And then you see the next play, he dodges about 8 players and takes it 90 yards to the house. And like, okay, I'll live with the shit if you can give me this good stuff every once in a while. But Daniel Jones doesn't give me enough of that good stuff right now. And that's what he needs to do. So,
And it always goes back to the dysfunctional family that he was born into, right?
Yes.
Like he didn't ask to get drafted by the worst fucking GM in history, or like lackluster, ignoring the old line. Like there's everything against him with Jason Garrett as an like. Think about what we were actually like somehow optimistic about in the last couple of years versus what we have now in the offensive coordinator from Buffalo, passing game coordinator from the Chiefs. Like you have actual young, smart guys now in charge. And it's just ridiculous that that's what we had to deal with for the last 4 years.
So
Yep,
is it safe to say that with the new regime coming in, we are going to be more of an RPO style offense?
I think there's going to be a lot of that.
Is it
Yeah.
safe to say it's going to be a lot heavier in our game plan, right?
what's going to be
Definitely.
interesting to see is if what system is coming in here. Is it going to be Dable's system that he ran with Josh Allen, or is Dable a guy that is actually creative enough to create systems around his players? So, granted, there, and I hate to say this but there's a lot of traits from Daniel Jones that are comparable to Josh Allen. Not the amazing arm.
I know
obviously.
you every time we say that we have
I know, you have to,
he's not
explain
Josh
this.
Allen.
Wait, calm down, everybody. But there's the running and the his height and
Big
the
dude.
ability. Yeah, like there's some things that that translate over. So he may keep his same system, but also, what is Kafka going to bring? What is Kafka going to bring some of the stuff in the Chiefs passing game? So I'm just so excited to see what the hell they put out there, man. It's going to be awesome.
I think it is going to be a little more run heavy like that. And I think that's a great thing for Daniel Jones, but somehow we found a quarterback that actually falls the same way as Eli did. And that's dangerous.
Yes.
That scares me. And that's probably why he won't be the starting quarterback at the end of the year, but he will still be on the roster.
Yeah.
Tied a little bow.
I like that. One last thing, guys. Well, not one last thing, but I want to talk about next thing. Trubisky, real quick. Thoughts on him? Go, Jeff, TK. One of you two.
You want me to go? I'm in favor, but obviously not if his price is getting raised up that much. Like if he's close to double digits, you can't do that in this current climate. I understand that, but I do think QB2 is well worth investing in somebody competent, whether even if it's a Case Keenum, like somebody who can actually play quarterback.
I know.
Like what we had last year, it was bad when Daniel Jones was playing, right? Like we were 0-3 the season. I knew the season was over at 0-3, but we had Daniel Jones doing things, like you had the Saints game, you had flashes, you had you were developing your quarterback, you had Tony, you had things going on. Once Jones went down, you couldn't do a goddamn thing. It was like you were reaching new levels of like the basement as a Giants, or like I know the 70s were bad. We had to be getting close to that.
Oh yeah.
Like with where we were playing, how we were doing and everything. So you need a QB2 that can still allow you to evaluate Kadarius Toney, get Golladay his work, build an O-line, get a running game going. Like you have in an NFC East, like he was saying, you still have to be able to compete because it's not that good of a division. Like it's up. I think the Eagles are actually probably the favorite going into next year, but that's another different conversation.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
But I think you have to get a QB2 who is real, and I think that's worth investing in, even in a rebuild or we're not competing for a championship. I get that. I'm not delusional, but you have to be able to still evaluate people. And last year we couldn't do that when Jones went down. So you need a better QB2. Our only chance is getting a Trubisky discount to stay with Dable. That's
I agree.
Anyone but Glennon, right? I mean, what's anyone going to learn from Mike Glennon?
God. You can't just throw somebody. You can't just throw somebody back there anymore. You just can't throw. Yeah, negative passing yards. Jeff, sorry, I took the words out of your mouth, but
that's it. Yeah, like what was the conversation in the offseason? Hey, I got a guy. He's going to cost us about $1 million. He's tall.
I found him down at the flea market.
Nice
I'm bringing him in. He told me he can throw the football over the mountains, so I believe him.
He was changing light bulbs at the flea market.
Dude, and I was a sucker because I was like, this guy, at least he could throw the ball down the field, whereas McCoy couldn't. But like, apparently I was way the fuck off because he couldn't even make mundane 5-yard passes, dude. I don't understand in today's NFL how you can't throw the ball just for 50 yards.
I'm going to pat our backs for a second. Last offseason, we had a hashtag. There's got to be somebody hashtag better than Glennon.
Yes.
We said all offseason, this can't be the backup to our already on the ice quarterback.
You're right.
That quarterback room. And you brought in Jake Fromm, who
my God.
Look, what are we doing?
Jake from State Farm. State Farm.
Are we doing?
Oh, bad.
What a joke.
And again, it felt like Judge was one of those guys that TK, you were saying before, that could, I don't know, take guys and do better with them. But sometimes you have to just be logical. Glennon's lost so many games in this league. Don't go with that guy. Don't go with the guy that lost a ton of games in this league. Colt McCoy has won some games. He showed that he could be a nice backup quarterback.
I'd gladly take Colt McCoy back.
I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand why they moved on from Colt McCoy when
again,
he was.
It's a transition.
Didn't he make more money as a backup? Where did he end up?
He went to Arizona.
Yeah, didn't he end up making more money to help on Kyler there?
Well, then look at him. I think he won a couple games in Arizona too. He looked pretty decent, McCoy.
That's right when the run James Conner got going, because for fantasy purposes I was paying attention, and as soon as Kyler Murray went out, James Conner took off. He was scoring 2 touchdowns every week.
Just crazy. So I mean, listen, I think Trubisky would be nice. It is kind of weird though. Trubisky seemed like a slam dunk because he knows Dable. Dable knows him, and it's another young quarterback, much like Daniel Jones, that's been up and down his whole career, but at least you have 2 guys now. Somebody's got to put together a good season. That's the thought process, right? Somebody's got to get hot. But they're saying $10 million. First of all, I don't understand where this is coming from, because he signed a $2.5 million contract last year and then didn't play. So how did it jump $8 million?
That's how desperate the league is for quarterbacks, and he's a 29 and 21 career
and
quarterback.
To your point earlier, if his market is going to be that and is going to garner that upwards of $10 million, there's no way we can allocate that type of money to someone like him who, yes, could be a serviceable backup and a solid backup. But if he's not going to be our starting quarterback, why are we paying a starting quarterback?
And I get
at that point?
Yeah, that makes sense too. But and if you could somehow make it work, because Dable probably wants him in-house to even potentially compete with Daniel Jones. And a lot of the truthers are very uncomfortable with somebody competing with their prince. They want this to be Daniel Jones' job for the next decade.
My wife being one of them.
She likes Daniel Jones.
She loves her some Daniel Jones,
and she's a Jets girl.
No, she's not anymore.
Oh, you converted her?
That was part of the.
That's why you put a ring on it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I told her if she has to be a Giants.
Ask Spiro about his wife.
Spiro, tell me about your wife.
Listen, there was too many positives to just let her go because she's an Eagle fan. But she's an Eagle fan.
It couldn't be worse. Dallas is right around there, but
I know
Philly is the worst.
Well, what's funny is I hated the Eagles. I went to a school in the middle of Pennsylvania, all Eagles fans out there. I was like, I will never ever marry a girl that's an Eagles fan. I also said I'd never ever marry a girl that I meet in a bar. And I went. I asked on both of those because I met her at a bar, and she's an Eagles fan. I'm a big hypocrite. If you guys didn't know, so
How far into? I mean, was this like a first night conversation that you found out?
yeah, it was the first night. I knew.
And you
I knew.
still went forward. Wow.
Well, he
To
was
be fair,
probably
I was
wearing
damn
some
near-
type of Giants gear.
I was very drunk. on that first night, so it kind of maybe I forgot about it for a little bit. But
you buried that shit.
I buried it way back there. But listen, no, it makes for fun holidays and banter because I love going back and forth with other
Because
fan
she's
bases.
got brothers or something, doesn't she?
She's got 3 brothers and a brother. I have 2 brothers and a brother-in-law. And we go at it. We go at it. So it wasn't ideal, but we're making it work, guys. We're making it work.
Now I'm assuming it was impossible to convert her.
Oh, that listen, I converted her to a Ranger fan. I'm trying to work on bringing her on the baseball side. Eagles is a no-go. It's a no-go, which listen, I'll take
It's good to have boundaries.
I understand
Yes.
that. You know,
It's
I think you
fine.
might respect her less if she did convert.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed.
You know?
She's
my
steadfast
wife,
about it.
however, she's the type of Jets fan that has a Brett Favre jersey. So like
she just doesn't really care that
Exact-
much about it.
Couldn't sum it up any better.
yeah, so like it was an easy transition. Same stadium, different
Makes
color.
sense.
That's
Makes
it.
sense. I like
my
it.
wife.
I like
my
it.
wife
That's
is
easy.
from a Jets and Devils family,
Ooh,
so I was able to convert her to the Giants.
easy.
That was relatively easy, and she actually did. You know, I was trying to like buy her some Giant stuff or whatever early on, and she was like, "I don't see a ring on this."
I'm not wearing this until.
So that's when I bought. So that's when I bought the ring.
Makes
But
sense.
then Devils, she can't name me one player on the Devils, but she will not convert to the ring. Like I think she's got 2 brothers too. I think they are a hockey family.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're a little
Makes sense.
more serious about their hockey,
It's
but
ingrained in her.
she won't convert. She won't do it.
There's
Poor
something
girl.
to be said about sticking with your squad, which is fine. But like again,
Absolutely.
my wife didn't care too much about hockey. She's like, all right, I'll be a Ranger fan. Why
Yeah,
not?
sure.
Yeah, why not? I'll throw you a bone. I almost got her too because I almost converted her to a Mets fan in 2015. She's like, if the Mets win the World Series,
Why would you ever do that to somebody?
Yeah.
because I want misery loves company. I needed someone to be miserable.
She's already an Eagles fan.
I know. I said, listen, if they win the World Series, you gotta be because the Mets never win a World Series. I thought, yeah, why not throw that out there?
That's
She's like,
safe,
yeah,
yeah.
sure. And then they almost won the World Series that year. Almost had her, a couple games away, but that's neither here. Oh, speaking of that, little transition over to baseball's back, baby. Baseball's back.
How
Finally.
happy are you? Because this
I-
does not
dude,
change my life.
I know.
Except
I know.
someone- yeah.
You guys are not baseball guys, but listen, I love that every day coming home at nighttime, 7:00, put on the Mets. It's just background stuff most of the time. But it just means April 7th. There's opening day. Springtime is here. I feel good about it. You guys can't tell me you guys don't like going to baseball games and just like not paying attention to the game whatsoever, but also being out there in the summer all day.
Going to a baseball game, absolutely.
Right.
There's the whole pre-gamings. There's
Yeah,
the whole like
expensive beers.
camaraderie and the,
Yes.
yeah, the
Big fan of
the
those.
$12 special beer night.
Yes.
You get your little ice cream and your upside down hard hat.
It's
you
yes, y'all love that.
night. It's a thing, and I will give it to you. The Met Stadium actually is pretty nice.
It's dope.
What
City
is
Field's
that?
dope.
City Field. I almost said shit,
Yes.
but obviously. I won't. But if you're gonna sit on your couch and watch a baseball game,
It's tough. It's tough.
oh
I
my
get it.
god,
I get
there
it.
are literally 47 million other things I can think about. If you want me to start listing them now, I thought we were going to keep this short today.
Well,
I will.
I'd much rather watch a golf tournament on TV, and I never.
Well,
thought
And
I
that's
would- I never
that's
thought I'd
saying
say
a
that,
hell of a lot.
right.
That is saying a lot. Listen, I get it. You got to really be invested in sitting through a 9-inning baseball game.
There are also so many games. I mean,
Uh-huh.
is this a shortened season? Like, did they? How
No,
many games
that's.
did you?
I was actually looking forward to. I was hoping that like this was going to shorten the season a little bit, and like 130 games is a lot better than 162. They each mean a little more.
162
I know.
games
I know.
is
Nuts.
that's so much. Like football, you get 16 weeks, 17 weeks,
17
whatever.
now.
So each game is so important. Each
Yes.
play, like when they score a touchdown, that changes everything. Like it's huge. Baseball, 162
But if you-
fucking
Listen,
games.
If you think about it, out of 162 games, they're really only doing one game's worth of movement. So it's not like it's like this feat to actually be able to get through 162 games. Sure, can you roll an ankle running bases? Can you catch a line drive to the temple? I don't know, but it's not like it's a football game or a basketball.
Certainly not like football.
How about hockey? Those guys play a hell of a lot of games.
Those are warriors right there.
And it's like,
toughest dudes.
You want to talk about a hard sport to play? That's the sport.
Agreed.
None of this Nancy baseball stuff.
Here's my biggest problem with baseball. It's the only sport where a professional athlete can play a full game and potentially not do anything. If you got walked every time you were at bat and you played right field and didn't get a ball hit to you, you played a full professional game and didn't move.
How about the bullpen guys? The bullpen guys might literally never get off the seat. they actually
pitching is a great gig.
It really is.
Once every week and a half or something, you have to pitch a game and then you just hang out.
Even if you're the best closer, you're going in only for a couple innings.
That's a good job.
It's like pitching it's like throwing catch with your friends.
What did Mariano? Oh, you're a Mets guy, but Mariano got to do that for what, 15?
A lot of years.
15 years.
Pretty damn good too. He was
exactly. That's why he was able to do it for 15, however many years.
Still, hey, making your kid a baseball player is not the worst thing in the world. They have a long career. They got,
Yeah, but then you have to go to the baseball game,
and then they end up, and then the kid ends up being a little douchey anyway. So
hey, listen. We could talk about this until the cows come home, but listen, I am excited. Don't rain on my parade right now.
I'm happy for you.
I'm very happy.
I'm happy for you. The only thing that bothers me is I'm gonna have to watch baseball highlights on the top 10 of sports.
Yes,
like that's basically.
That's. I hope April showers for you.
Damn you, TK. Damn you. Okay, well, listen, guys, we have possibly 2 more moves this weekend. It has to happen this weekend because free agency starts next week. Bradbury and Blake Martinez, those are the big ones. Stay or go. TK first. Bradbury, stay or go.
Go.
Jeff,
go.
You want why?
Deal him.
Yeah, go.
We're quick hitting here. Quick hitting.
Yeah, go.
Martinez.
Go.
Martinez. Jeff, stay or go.
Pay cut. Keep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Prove it deals. Okay. Restructure. Keep them.
Where are you at?
That's fair.
Guy was heart and soul of our defense before he went down.
It's true.
I agree. And if he's
I'd love to have him back.
Yeah, if he's rehabbed, if he wants to take a little bit of a pay cut, I'd love to have him back. Bradbury, I'll take that 3rd round pick. Toodles, I love you, man, but
give me the sauce. Give me the sauce in the first round.
I kind of want the sauce at 7.
It's very tempting.
Want sauce.
I
want the sauce.
I think Neil Equano or Tibbs is going to be there at 5.
Yes.
And then Sauce is going to be there at 7.
And
I will take any of those at 5 and then Sauce at 7 and be like, bang.
Boom. Well, so listen, next week's going to be fun. We got some news that's going to happen this weekend. Things are starting to really freaking heat up here, boys. And next week is going to tell us what we're going to do in the draft a little bit, right? Because you get a little idea of how the team's coming together. Yep. You don't have as many holes. That's the whole point. So everybody's mock drafts get a little bit more accurate. I know.
Stand these mock drafts. I saw some guy posting mock drafts with a pencil on loose leaf. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Listen. It's
more seriously.
It's more for me getting to familiarize myself with the names and know that's what I do it for and where I can expect somebody to go. So that's why I try and do it.
The NFL Network pretty much has reruns of the combine from here on out. So go ahead, familiarize yourself with names all you want.
Well, I'm glad we have a Spiro because
I'm here for these guys to give you guys some names so you can go back.
I could be like,
call me Tommy Hayes then. I don't know.
I could be like, give me a running back in the 5th round range. Go.
Yeah,
he'll run a couple off for me.
So that's why I watch. Honestly, that's why I watch you guys anyway.
Hey, listen, that's what we're here for. We're not like as good as these Talking Giants guys though, but I do have a tidbit or two that I could throw out there for you guys. A name or two.
Don't sell yourself short there.
We're just different. We're just different.
Listen, we're different. We're part of the Giants community, and we love having all you guys here, all 7 of you right now. No, listen, we love having you guys
in this room.
Yes, we love having you on this Friday. We're gonna do this more often. We're hopefully getting out as much as possible so you guys could talk Giants with us, could communicate all your problems of the day, your entertainment, your Giants, your Rangers, whatever it is. We're here for you, people. We're here for you, and we're glad that you are there for us. We love you all. Jeff, any words before we close this out?
This is fun. Have a good weekend. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, baby. Yeah, we love you, man.
I would say follow me, but you can't.
He's not a social media guy.
Yeah, not a big social media guy. And hey, Rangers, I know. I just saw your koozie had a rough night last night. Shake it off. You know, everybody has one of those throughout the season. Shake that off, and let's get moving. Let's get winning.
How about Vegas knowing that was going to happen?
Oh, it was
the
Clear's
against Minnesota.
What is that?
I bet that game because I'm like, Georgiev is an absolute liability.
Yes, yes.
You go from being a Stanley Cup contender to a fucking lottery pick team when Georgiev's in there.
You can only give up 4 or 5 goals so many times before they gotta make a fucking change here.
That's everybody's net, seriously.
I am.
If you can't win after 4 or 5.
By the way, Spiro Sargent just gave us the name of our Friday.
Beautiful.
Of our Friday show.
I gotta have to,
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Beautiful.
Fuck around Fridays.
Fuck around Fridays. This is it. I mean, Sergeant. This is why we're gonna have Sergeant Mayhem on. We're gonna have him on one of our episodes soon because this guy is just pure gold. Pure gold. We love him.
He just gets
it. He gets us.
I want to.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. One last time. We love you guys. Thank you again, TK, for coming through on Fuck Around Friday.
Thank you very much.
And we will be in touch, people. Let's look forward to our next podcast. We'll let you guys know what day it is next week. We got free agency, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Peace out, everybody.